So thankfully, 3M decided that they were going to come out with a chairside zirconia option, and it's being a chairside user in the dental world. The material side of things has been the most exciting part for us because basically when I started 16 years ago, we had a couple of ceramic block options to choose from, and that was it. And I put it on first molars and second molars, and you learned how much you had to prep to make sure they didn't break. And you dreamed of having something high strength like this to be able to put in that gave you a little bit more leeway when you just didn't have the room to prepare. So the new zirconia that 3M has now come out with, they give us the studies that show they have over 800 megapascals of strength. So it allows for single unit use, so here's our single unit block. You can see the taller blocks over there for the 3-unit bridges. So we can do both. We can have a minimum wall thickness of 0.8 millimeters. So we do not need very thick walls on these restorations to be able to deliver that high strength ceramic that we're looking for. The firing time on these restorations is anywhere between 19 and 22 minutes. According to 3M, if your restoration is less than 1.2 millimeters around the entire circumference and occlusal aspect of the crown, then you'll get a 19-minute firing time. I've been using the zirconia for a bit, and I will tell you that I tend to find that the firing time, the sintering time for these materials tends to be in the 22-minute range. As a chairside user, when you can factor in not having to do a try-in, and then we're cementing in the restorations most of the time instead of bonding, that little extra firing time is made up and then some by the fact that we don't have to do the try-in, and we'll talk about that later, and also we don't have to worry about bonding. The cementation process is much, much faster. They offer 8 aesthetic shades. So we have our standard shades and a bleach shade, which you'll see in this presentation later, all the way to your darker shades. So we have a lot of options to be able to use in our practices. And again, these can be conventionally cemented or they can be bonded in. So we'll talk a little bit about how to do both and try to make it a little bit easier for you. At the end of this lecture, we'll talk about some tips and tricks on cleanup to try to make life a little bit easier on the cleanup side of things.